We're good to go. Well, welcome everybody. Excited to get started with spring ball. Seems like it's been a long time coming, and it's always a great time of year. Focused on your own team, individual development. Shoot, the weather's getting better, so we're really excited to get started. Do want to take a quick minute to congratulate our men's basketball program, Wayne Tinkle, on an awesome run. So much fun and energy amongst Beaver Nation to follow that so closely, and that was a blast. I actually made my way out to the Elite Eight game myself and checked it out in person. It was a bunch of fun, and it's really cool to see really majority of our sports having so much success. The run, again, women's basketball had done, baseball's playing at a really high level, both soccer programs putting together some wins and being ultra competitive. It's just a great time of Beaver athletics, and we're hoping to add to that football wise here with a great 5 weeks of spring football. Also thought it was pretty cool sitting looking outside my window on the Jumbotron and announcing 30,000 vaccinations taking place at Reser Stadium. I think that is great for our community and progress. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. So a lot of good things going on. Back to us getting started tomorrow, looking for individual improvement, competition at each position. Obviously, we got some pieces to replace, and we got some other younger players that we're hoping to be able to count on in the fall, and this will be a huge step in that direction for their development and going. A little bit on the schedule, reason we are starting tomorrow. We did push it back till after spring break. We're just with the logic of the recruiting dead periods extended through May 31st. That gave these guys a little bit more time in the weight room during the winter to continue to get stronger and faster. And so we get in this rhythm of Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, trying to go 5 straight weeks, ending with some type of spring game. That'll get dictated exactly on what our roster looks like at the moment health wise, but we're looking forward to trying that. And by chance having some people around, we'll find out as we get closer to that date. I also want to kind of announce to you guys that Tuesday and Thursday, media wise, you guys are welcome to come to practice. Come out and check it out, kind of like we've been doing years before COVID. Tuesdays and Thursdays will be open to the media there for opportunities for you guys to see it in person. So with that, looking forward to the next 5 weeks and some questions.
Jonathan, obviously the first year you were here, the spring practice was something else, but how have you kind of shaped your philosophy of spring practice from year 2 to 4?
Right. It's a good question. We were learning a bunch that first year of exactly what we had personnel wise, implementing new schemes. I think the continuity we've had as a coaching staff now into year 3, 4, really get closer to the finer details. We experiment a little bit more in spring ball because we do have an established offense and defense, special teams identity. We're able to just take a look at new ways of doing things. And so we do a lot of that in the spring. Still, what has not changed is the emphasis again on the individual, the position group, and then to the side of the ball on improvement and finding ways to ingrain in them fundamentals that I think are so important to win in football games.
From a personnel standpoint, just a few guys. Is Tongue and Fenwick, are they both eligible for the fall, or is that still up in the air? Or
yeah, we're counting on those guys being eligible for the fall.
And then I looked at the roster, and Clark and Bush are no longer with the program. Is that correct?
Yeah, Bush has gone on, and I think he's already got his job. He got his engineering degree, and he was awesome for our program, and he's transitioned in that part of life. And Onesimus, I think, is in his last term, and he will be graduating and then pursuing other opportunities and maybe playing somewhere else.
And Reichner and Forrest are back.
Correct.
This spring.
Yep.
As far as guys that are limited, what do you know this spring? I would assume. There's a few guys that are.
Yeah, there's going to be some guys that are limited, and we're going to be smart with them. I kind of say it is we need these guys making plays in September, and we want to do everything we can to get them to that point. And so we'll be smart with some guys. We got some veterans that are returning for their 5th, 6 years that we'll be smart with during practice. And you'll be able to see it kind of out there tomorrow. But we'll have a few guys that are limited and do something, and at the same time, it's a beautiful thing for younger guys to get reps.
Where do things stand with Jordan Whitley?
Yeah, still trying to work his way back and progress. He will be limited if any this spring. Again, same thing. I need that guy at the line of scrimmage, ideally making plays in September, October, and we're taking that approach.
But he's been cleared to some degree to
Yeah, he's doing some limited working out and stuff.
Okay.
Hey, Coach, we all want to see that light at the end of the tunnel, obviously. As far as the daily activity of testing and things like that, what's the status for the team on that now going forward?
Yeah, very similar to what it was in the fall. We do the daily testing and all the protocols around this building and of mask wearing and things. That's all still in place for the spring.
Thank you.
This is year 4, obviously. I don't know. Does it feel, I mean, I don't want to say make or break. Does it feel like a year that, you really need to take a big step forward?
I think every year you're trying to do that. And so the urgency to take the next step is always, I think every year's the same. I think every year is new. This is a new roster that each guy, we continue to improve. I'm confident in our approach, our plan we took, our coaches here, the players that we've got. I'm confident that we're going to continue to take next steps.
Jonathan, have you talked with your players about getting vaccinated, and how does that conversation move forward?
No, I have not personally. And as that becomes available, we'll have some conversations. And it really will start with our medical staff running all that.
Jonathan, what players are you excited to see that they could do with a full spring program now?
Yeah. There's definitely guys that stand out that did not get spring as their first introduction last year. I think about the quarterback position with the Ben and Chance that way, did not get a spring, and now they'll get an opportunity to do it. But I could really go through every position. To take advantage of this spring is critically important, and each position group. I mean, we're replacing some players. We need to find a replacement at running back, obviously, and the secondary is always competitive, and we got some good players in that group. So really every position, spring's important.
To follow up on that. Go for it, Nick. Sorry.
But you've mentioned John Miller in the past about it. You really liked how he played last year. How do you get him on the field given, where he's playing the position?
Yeah, that position is we've got some guys that have some real experience and good players at inside linebacker. And, John finding his way in special teams would be critical. And ultimately spring's an opportunity to move yourself up on that depth chart.
Jonathan, were there areas after last season that you identified as these were things you really wanted to hit this spring, you wanted to work on, you wanted to get better in?
Yeah, I mean, we always take a huge dive into the previous season, watching it on tape, rethinking how we really did almost everything. A couple things stand out. We got to find ways to take the ball away more defensively to be able to change the game. Offensively, there's even like the detail of some of our man scheme and pass protection needs to get better. And so I could go through a long list, but we take the ball away and protect the passer a little bit better. We need to improve on those.
With Chance in particular at that quarterback position, I know he was just kind of behind the 8 ball last year because he didn't get spring ball. What do you think is going to most benefit him about this period?
Yeah, I think a lot of the reps that he's going to get, he's much more comfortable having the year he did. And you could just see his improvement from game 1, the first one he started, to the second and third one after that. And so we're counting on that continuing. Did have a good off season in the weight room, got stronger and faster. I will say there's a couple guys that can get reps with Sam and Ben that have some talent to hopefully continue to push them, let alone when Tristan gets back.
Of all the position groups, it seems like the secondary is probably the one that's maybe most in flux, just all the guys that you did lose, key guys. Is that going to be maybe the most competitive situation out there just because of all the guys that it just seems like there's a lot of movement there.
There's definitely going to be some competition. And you think about the DB room in general, a lot of times you're playing with 5 of them out there on the snap. So 2 safeties, 2 corners, and a nickel. And so it's vitally important, especially in this league, to be able to cover people. And now, again, we got some good players back there that can do it. In particular, the corner position with Nashawn going, Dunny being done. There's opportunity for those guys to earn a lot of playing time.
Tri-
Coach,
Tristan
can you
Walker-
talk real quick about the wide receiver core? I mean, last year you had a lot of speed, not a lot of huge size. Talk about this year's wide receiver core, what your expectations are.
Yeah, expecting those guys to be a huge part of this offense. Again, I think we've got another group. We don't have just one guy we're counting on to be the go-to guy the whole time. I mean, with Trayshawn coming back, Zariah did a lot of good things as a freshman. Bradford, the experience that he brings and his ability to play multiple positions. I could go down the list with Champ and Irish coming along, and Tyjon, and along with newcomers of Tongue. So I think we got a deep group there that we can be creative with in regards to the 3 or 4 we put out there and the spots we put them in.
Thank you.
Unlikely that Tristan takes any snaps this spring.
Not counting on it right now unless something drastically changed. His rehab is going well, but probably not quite going to be ready to be moving around like that by the end of spring.
And Avery, same thing.
Avery has a better chance than Tristan, but he'll be definitely limited to start.
Were there any off-season injuries, ones that just wouldn't be aware of?
Right. Nothing glaring. I mean, we got some guys that worked really hard in the weight room, but nothing that's long-term injury.
Of your guys' incoming freshmen, do you know off the top of your head how many are going to be available for spring ball?
Yeah, I don't have it right in front of me. I think we got close to 5 or 6 of them, but I don't have it in front of me. Sorry.
Sam Vidlac is in the mix, right?
Yep. Oh yeah, Sam will be here in Preston. Yep. I mean, Arnaz Madison, just going off the top of my head, Marion's here. Who else is here? Yeah, I wish I wouldn't start listening because can't remember it off the top of my head.
What do you know about a spring game or some sort of whatever you're going to finish off spring practice with? What do you know about that?
Well, it just goes a little bit about your health at a position group. We'd like to recreate a little bit of a game, but not at the expense of a position group. And so if our numbers are healthy on that last Saturday, we'd like to do that. But again, it all depends on if we're healthy enough.
And then would that be something fans would be able to watch, a limited number? Or
Yeah, if I can make that decision, yes, I would say 100% certain. We're definitely working toward that. And so hopefully we'll be able to do that. And then we're trying to set it up. You come watch us for a little bit and head over to the baseball game.
Piggybacking off of that, Jonathan, I saw you at the baseball game over the weekend, and you mentioned you went to the Elite Eight. Just seeing kind of fans in the stands, how excited does that get you for the potential of what could happen later down the line?
Yeah, it's been fun to get around some people and watch the game and the atmosphere at our baseball games, let alone that basketball game, and so getting closer to what we know and enjoy of having Beaver Nation amongst all our sporting events will be a great day.
Obviously, the run game has been a part of this team over the last few years. What makes you excited about Coach Stewart?
Some of his expertise, some of the systems he's been around. I think he's brought in some great ideas for our offensive staff and really what we've been doing. He has a background in, but he's also added some other elements. I think he connects well with his players just in the short amount of time. I know those guys have enjoyed getting to know him, and now they're really looking forward to working with him on the practice field. Okay, thank you.